Hello my tubers, it's me. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about if you are depressed by society, what you can do to not be depressed, because I used to be incredibly depressed by society and I still recognize its flaws, but I am not depressed anymore. I am actually thriving. So if you want to find out what I did to start thriving, then keep watching. If you could like and subscribe, I would really appreciate that. So the number one thing that you can do to be less depressed by society is start thinking a little less globally. You cannot fix anything happening on the other side of the world. Start looking at your own community. Start looking at your own household. Start looking at yourself for one. Just start thinking on a much smaller scale. Human beings are not meant to know what is going on 5,000 miles away. Human beings are not meant to intake all of the horrors that are happening around the world constantly every single day. We're not meant for that, because our minds can intake information and perceive it to be real even if we're not actually there, and that kind of stress is just not good for us. Unless you are going to actually make it your life mission to help someone on the other side of the world, which you can. Most people probably don't. They're probably just consuming stuff, the horrors of all parts of the world, without actually doing anything about it. And I'm not saying you can't help, but try and focus on helping yourself first, helping your community, helping your family. Focus small. Stop worrying about everything, because you are not going to be able to fix everything. Start with yourself. Start right here. Start where you're at. Start small. There's people in your town or city that are struggling. If you really want to help something, start there. Stop worrying about the horrible, horrible events that are happening way outside of your control. That is my number one tip. Stop thinking globally. Start thinking locally. Start thinking about you. Bring yourself up first. You cannot help anyone around the world if you're coming from a place of fear or negativity or any of those things. The next point is start figuring out what your limiting beliefs are. I have an entire video on this. I will link it up here if you are interested and you don't know what limiting beliefs are. But generally, your own thoughts and your own beliefs, your own limits on yourself are the things that are making you unhappy. So start figuring out what your own thoughts are, what your own limiting beliefs are, and you might have been fed them by society and the news, and growing up you might have been fed these ideas like, oh, you'll never amount to anything, or the world's hopeless, or only people who are lucky can do those things, only people who are so privileged can do those things. You might have these limiting beliefs, and learning to recognize them and get rid of them is going to help you so much. So if you want to know more, then definitely check out that video. But start learning to recognize how you are limiting yourself by living in fear or living in this depression about society. Next one, try and find a passion. Try and find a way to give back. And if you are extremely depressed, you need to first give back to yourself before you can give back to others. But there are some people who find ways to give back and that helps them, and they can uplift together. Find a purpose, find a way to help small. I have found my purpose now, but before I did, something that I did that helped me greatly, that was a very small thing that I could actually do, was I worked at a shelter and I was helping adopt cats out to people. I was helping cats find new homes. Once a week, I would go in, see these cats, I would change their litter boxes, I would feed them, I would give them water, I would give them pets, and sometimes they would find new homes. And that, in one way, I was helping those cats and helping those people who were adopting those cats in a very, very, very small way when you think of all the people and all the cats on this planet. But it was something that I was doing that was positive, that I was giving back to something outside of myself. So think less globally and start thinking, what can I do here in my small community? What can I do for myself? What can I do for cats? What can I do for something or someone that needs help? What can I do here and now that's actually within my reach? If you are incredibly, incredibly depressed by society, finding a passion can definitely help uplift you. But also, when thinking small, you need to also just start prioritizing yourself. You need to start prioritizing your own mental health over worrying about what's happening across the world, over helping your friends. You need to put yourself first, and this can look like a lot of different things depending on who you are. So think about it. Think about what's right for you. Volunteering your time at some other shelter or some other sort of center. Like, there are so many different things you can do. Start donating money to a cause or a charity that you like. There are so many different things that you can do within your community that you can start today. So try and find a purpose. It doesn't have to be your ultimate life purpose, but try and find something other than yourself that you can start helping. And you can be a little bit less depressed about all of the bad that's going on. Next, don't put all of your energy into negative thinking. Don't put all of your focus into the things about society that are bad. Don't put all of your focus into all of the horrible things that are happening. Start focusing on the good, because society is not all bad. It's not all horrible, even though the news likes to tell us it is, and we like to focus on the horrible things because it's addicting and it's like gossip. The more that you focus on the negative, the more it grows. And the more that we collectively as a society focus on the negative, the more it grows. So stop focusing on the horrible news. Stop focusing on all of the bad parts of society. Stop focusing on the things that aren't working and start focusing on what is working. Stop focusing on only negative. Start focusing on the positive. Practice gratitude. Just when you find yourself focusing on something negative, switch to focusing on something else. Like, there are different ways that you can switch your focus throughout the day. And I will talk about that in future videos, but for now, the more you focus on the negative, the more it grows in your life. So you're in charge of how much you want to let in. This pretty much ties into that last point, but stop watching the news. Stop paying attention to the news. Whatever side you're on, however awake you are to the news, whatever kind of news you like to consume, however good you think it makes you of a person to fight for a certain cause and to believe in a certain news channel. All of the news is designed to keep you fearful and feeling helpless and feeling worthless. The news is a trap that can make you feel horribly depressed even if you don't realize that's what's doing it. Stop watching the news and watch how much happier you are. Stop reading the news. It can show up on your social media, so just be careful who you're following and what social media you're going on, because some social media websites like Reddit and Twitter, those are the ones that I've noticed that I've stopped going on, they force it in your face even if you're not following any of that. So I've just stopped going on them entirely. And when the news shows up in your social media, even if you don't click on it and go dive deep into it, it enters your subconscious thoughts and it does bring you down subconsciously. So if you're depressed about society because money, taxes, work, all of those things, then definitely go check out my other video on limiting beliefs and also on living however you want, living with freedom. I will link them below and above. Definitely start thinking smaller. Start thinking in your community, because human beings are meant to live smaller, on a smaller scale. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time. I hope this helps you be a little bit more mindful of where you are putting your attention, and yeah,